Okay, we are now joined by Ryan Blaney, who drives the number 12 Advanced Auto Parts Ford for Team Penske. We're going to roll straight into questions, and our first question is going to come from Dustin Long with NBC Sports. Go ahead with your question, Dustin.
Thank you. Ryan, all the success that you've had at Bristol with leading laps, being at the front so much, I'm curious, while everybody probably wants to point this as a dire situation for you this weekend, what is the difference in taking it to that next level of winning that race or completing those finishes? Obviously, you've run well at this track. You've had a great bit of success. What's get it to that next level so that you can get to the next round?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's a place where we've run pretty good at before. It's just a matter of, kind of figuring out what we need to do later in the race to, you know, adapt to the track changing. Bristol's pretty big on that. And then, just trying to run all the laps. I thought we were really good there in the spring and got a foot too high and spun out and then got wiped out. And the All-Star race, I thought we were pretty good. But we had a different strategy than some guys who stayed out and had some old tires, and that just didn't work out. So, but then, other times we led a lot of laps and just haven't finished it out. So I think the biggest thing is just adapting to the track, as the race gets further along, when we get to that, lap 350, 400 mark, just trying to adapt to the racetrack and what it's going to do. And, I think that's something, that's something Todd and I have talked about a lot this week and rewatching races and kind of going through them. So I think that's the biggest thing. I wouldn't say, it's a must win for us. I think there's a situation where we could point our way in, but, that's, some things got to go your way. But we just go out there and go try to win the race and run the best we can. That's all we can do.
And real quickly, what's the challenge that you've had from that lap 350 point on that you feel like you guys need to work on?
Just adapting to the track, whereas usually, when you get to the third stage later in the race, you'll have one long green flag run in there at least, and the track you'll hear guys talk about over rubbering the top. It'll get really black up top and kind of cake the rubber up there, and your car really reacts differently. So that's something that I talk about of trying to get better at when you do have that really long green flag run, figuring out, okay, what do we need to do? Because you probably know it's coming. That's probably the biggest thing I meant by that.
Thank you.
Our next question will come from Jenna Fryer. Go ahead with your question, Jenna.
Hey, Ryan, are you surprised to find yourself in this position?
Definitely don't like being in this position. Am I surprised? No, surprised. I'm not like, man, I'm surprised we're in this position. It's just, there's things we could have done better as a whole group to make sure we weren't in this position. It started at Darlington with, having to start in the back, and all those penalties just kind of added up, stacked up, and, it just kind of put you behind the eight ball. And then we didn't really go do our job at Richmond. I wouldn't say I'm surprised, I just and disappointed is a big word too. I'm not disappointed in anything. It's just, a bummer that we are in this position. It's been a rough two races, and you definitely, this round of 16 is just a round really you just can't screw up, and we've managed to have a couple screw ups and find ourselves in this spot. So not surprising, just kind of bummed out. But our whole focus on this group is this weekend. We got one more race to try to get in here, and it's a track that we have plenty of capability to do it at.
Do you believe you're a better team than this, and you would like the opportunity to go and show it?
Oh, for sure. I mean, this whole group, this team, we're not a 16th place in points team. We showed it all year. Of having a lot of speed is just, a matter of closing things out. So this group is way better, and hopefully we can show that this weekend.
Thanks, Ryan.
Our next question will come from Bob Pockers. Go ahead with your question, Bob.
Yeah, kind of following up on that, are you anxious? Are you nervous? Are you frustrated? Are you angry? Kind of what's your mentality?
Sure to go racing. I mean, that's the biggest thing. I'm not, yeah, okay, you can kind of get a little frustrated, right? When, right after, I was frustrated for 20 minutes right after Darlington. I was frustrated for 20 minutes right after Richmond. But after those 20 minutes, you're like, all right, well, that's in the past. Let's talk about what we could have done maybe to improve that, but we got to focus on the next race. You know, there's no dwelling on the past, especially in these playoff races. You got to focus on the next one, especially when you have a bad day. So I'm excited to get going. I mean, I love going to Bristol, and excited to just, you know, be able to race and have a shot at it, and you know, go try to do our best. So just I'd love to say it's another race weekend. It's our season pretty much. But I think you got to treat it like a race weekend, like every other time. Go out there and try to win the race. But I caution those in front of me. I'm not going to be behind them for very long if we're if we're faster than them. So that's I feel like that's what everyone has to realize, and that's just the position we're in.
Thank you.
Our next question will come from Mark Garrow. Go ahead with your question, Mark.
Sort of following up on both Jenna and Bob, your mental outlook on this race or approach to this race, is it just another race, or are you extra determined? Is there, the kill switch been turned up a little bit, or again, are you trying to treat it as just another race?
I feel like if all of a sudden for one race you're extra determined, why aren't you that way the whole season? You know, I mean, everyone's always motivated and determined to win races. And yeah, when the playoffs start, you know, I feel like I don't think the determination goes up. I think just the aggression level goes up, and there's no give. It's all take. And I feel like, you know, if you're not in a winning mindset throughout the whole year, you know, other than this situation, I try to be in the same mindset for the very first part of the season, and then even now in the situation we're in. So you're always dedicated and motivated, but you're going to be, you know, in our position, we're going to be pretty aggressive. I mean, that's what we have to be, and everyone else has to realize that. But you know, yeah, it's not one. You know, there's a couple guys that are only a few points below or above the cut line that, you know, will probably just try to be, you know, a little bit safer than what, let's say, me or Matty D has to be, just because we got to get a bunch of points and we'll try to finish good and win the race. But I wouldn't say I'm more determined. Your dedication has always been there.
Thank you.
Our next question will come from Mark McCarter. Go ahead with the question, Mark.
Ryan, if we can jump ahead briefly to Talladega, just why have you guys been able to have such success at Talladega? And then sort of look back to the June race and how it began with the support for Bubba, and then the wild finish, if you can just sort of take me back to that Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, it was Talladega is always I thought the Penske Speedway program has been pretty good, you know, for a long time, for a handful of years, and it says a lot with the changing, you know, rules packages that keeps coming on the speedways. It's a big testament to all these guys and girls here at the race shop for all the work they do. And yeah, I mean, just being in the right places at the right time at the last two Talladegas, you know, and winning them by a combined of about 2 feet, you know, just you're going to be on the good side of those, and you're going to be on the bad side of those. I've been on both sides of them. So just a testament of fast cars, and then, you know, kind of executing on all sides, you know, not only my side, but, you know, Josh Williams, my spotter side at the end of these races, and being very aware of what's around us, and making the right moves that luckily pay off. You're going to make moves that don't pay off for you, but you'll just have those. That's just part of Speedway racing. But yeah, the thing before the race with Daryl, you know, it was cool to see, you know, in those times when some things were popping up, and you know, I thought everyone coming together showing support for him was really good. So that's something I'll never forget. And then he was the first guy I saw after I won that race. It was really cool, you know, pit road. But
Thanks.
Our next question is going to come from Lee Spencer. Go ahead with the question, Lee. Lee Spencer, go ahead with your question, Lee.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, I can hear you now.
Super. Sorry about that. Thanks, Matt, and thanks, Ryan, for joining us today. I really appreciate and admire your optimism, but how frustrating is it to know that you're kind of in this position because it wasn't really on you, but the execution of the team? And, you know, we talked to Travis Geisler about it a couple of weeks ago, and, you know, he talks about the challenges you guys are facing during the pandemic, and how, you know, preparing the cars and getting things ready and the inspection process. I mean, it just all piles in on there. But knowing that, you know, things were out of your control from the standpoint of what has happened getting on the racetrack or on the racetrack. How frustrating has that part of it been?
I mean, those things happen. I mean, we're all a team. We all are in this together, and mistakes are made by everybody. It doesn't matter if it's the crew makes a mistake. I make mistakes all the time. You don't want to point anybody out. So I can't really be frustrated at those things. You have to understand that people do make mistakes. We're all human, and it's just a shame it happened at the time that it happened. And yeah, what Travis was saying it's tough now with people having separate shifts and things like that at the race shop, and no practice. Obviously, I mean, we've been dealing with that all year, no practice. But yeah, it's just and there's it's not all on them. I've done things I could have done a lot better too, and all that stuff. It's just we're all a team. I don't point fingers at anybody. We're all in this together, and if one of us makes a mistake, it's on the team. And if I go hit the wall, it's everyone understands. So I don't really call anybody out. It's just unfortunate things that sometimes happen in racing.
Thanks for your time.
No problem.
Our next question will come from Alex Andreev. Go ahead with the question, Alex.
Hey Ryan, I talked to your crew chief a little bit earlier this week, and he said that you guys weren't necessarily in a do or die situation. But kind of based on where you're at points right now, it feels like you potentially could be, and you need to sort of get that win and stay in the top 5 in order to advance. I mean, how do you feel about that, and how much pressure do you feel like is on, this next race here?
Yeah, like I said earlier, Todd and I talked of it's not an absolute must-win situation. It's not like we're 40 points out. I think you can run top 3 in a couple stages, and it depends obviously where all the other drivers are at in them stages and how they're running, but and you try to run top 3 at the finish of the race, you might have a shot. It just depends where everyone else is at and how many stage points they get and where they finish. But pressure side, I hate that question. I'm gonna be honest with you. I hate hearing that word because I don't really think of it ever. We're all you're under pressure, I think, a little bit constantly of proving yourself, but add the added pressure, I don't really feel that. Like I said, it's an opportunity to go out there and perform and show that your group and yourself, that you belong here and you belong to move on in the round. So I always see opportunity here and just proving how strong of a group this is. So a little bit of adversity never hurts anybody.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Our next question will come from Claire B. Lang. Go ahead with the question, Claire.
Thank you. Your teammates were asked if they had advice for you for this race at Bristol. And it was kind of funny because Keselowski said, just go win the damn race. You have a lot of ability, just go win the damn race. And Joey's answer was longer. He said, it's different for everyone, and you got to get to the next level. He's talented. He knows it. Have they given you much advice? And when you roll off at the start of the race, two different philosophies, but I kind of like the encouragement. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's 2 different philosophies for sure. It's funny. I thought Brad would have been the more philosophical one instead of just a short answer. But no, I mean, those guys have been great. I think we've had our struggles in the past, and you're always going to have some of that. It's racing, but those guys have been really good to me. And I texted Brad a little bit this week. He texted me, I think Sunday or Monday, and just a little conversation. But those guys are people I lean on. And Brad is obviously someone who gave me a big opportunity in the sport. So obviously hearing words of advice from him. I'm more of a short and sweet kind of guy, so that advice is simple enough from Brad. But I can learn a lot from those guys, and they've definitely been helpful teammates throughout the years, and I think we all work really well together.
Clint Boyer said, I just got to go race my ass off. And then Brad Keselowski says, just go win the damn race. Makes it sound easy, but in essence, you just got to go do what you do, right?
Anything sounds a lot easier than it actually is, than anything. So, it's easy. I mean, we could all say, yeah, just win a race and move on to the next round. That's really easy to do, but honestly, it's the hardest thing to do. So, I mean, it's going to be tough for sure. There's a lot of great cars in front of us that run really good at Bristol. But our group, we run really good at Bristol too. So just have to, step it up and really go win the damn thing. or come close to it.
Good luck at Bristol. Thanks a lot, Ryan. Good luck.
Our final question for Ryan is going to come from Steve in Toronto. Go ahead with your question, Steve.
Ryan, there have been times this season where you've had things happen to you and your team that you could chalk up to just really bad luck. I know drivers have different mentalities as to whether or not they're superstitious. Do you believe in luck, or are you more of the mentality that you create your own luck and, you know, anything out of your control doesn't really matter?
You know, I don't know. I don't really believe in good luck, bad luck. Everyone has it. I don't think anyone has more good luck or bad luck than anyone else. So you're going to have good times and bad times. And, you know, those things that happen to us that can be said as bad luck. It's just part of life, part of racing. So hopefully, you know, you have the more good days than bad, but that's tough to have. But, you know, I don't really, I'm not superstitious and anything like that. Just go out there and do your job. And if something happens that's out of your control, that happens. The best you can do is just, you know, do your job to the fullest of your ability. And, you know, if you're good enough, then you're going to run well. And if there's bad things happen, that's just part of it. So I'm not really superstitious at all and any of that stuff. Happens to everybody.
Fair enough. Thank you.
Well, Ryan, given that you're not superstitious, I won't wish you good luck on Saturday night, but good luck anyway. Have a good day, and thanks for joining us.
Appreciate it.